I run a business called Mukasa Foods. It means kitchen.
Okay.
Yeah, and I serve Afro-Caribbean food. So it's not just Ghanaian food. I try to do a bit of everything. So the Caribbean, the South Africa, West Africa in general.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
And what's Nabia's job in this?
Nabia is really helpful.
Okay,
all
good.
round.
This is good.
Anything she's happy to do. So
So you're cook, waitress, cashier. You do every job.
Yeah.
the cashier mostly.
Yeah. So her maths is good.
Yes.
Okay, so whereabouts are you from originally? Ghana.
From Ghana, yes.
And how long have you been, not just in Shropshire, but in Britain generally?
13 years.
Okay, and what brought you to this part of the world?
My husband did.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He came to visit a friend in Belgium.
Well, that's not close. So
And then...
did you try and find him and miss by
Did I
quite a
say
way?
a friend in no, he lives with his parents in Belgium.
Okay.
And then came to visit a friend in England.
Right.
Yeah. And then I wouldn't say he was struggling with the Belgian language, but then he came here, and because we speak English back home, it was easier for him to get a job and all that. Back in Belgium, he was supposed to go to school to be able to speak the language fluently.
Yeah.
But then when he came here and thought, oh, it's easy because I
So-
can speak English already.
Did you know him in Ghana?
Yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah.
then where? I only know Accra.
Yeah, he's from Accra.
From Accra?
Yeah, and I'm from the Eastern region, but I've lived in Accra all my life.
Okay.
So that is where we met. We married, and then I came to join him. He was already living here.
Yeah.
But
That
then-
must have been hard. So he went off
Yeah.
to, I guess, look for work, to try and find somewhere new.
His parents thought, come and live with us in Belgium. You've lived in Ghana
Yeah.
all these years, so we want you to come here. And he did, but then we were friends already. So, and then he proposed,
Yeah.
and we got married.
How long did you have to think about it?
First of all, I said, well, if you think...
Quite a while by the
If
sound
you
of
think
things.
I'm easy to go, no, I'm not. But the way he puts the whole thing, he said, can you tell your mom to give me the list of things I need to do to marry you?
Oh,
And I was like, that's cheeky.
yeah. It's not up to your mother, it's up to you, isn't it?
That's it.
Yeah.
And he's not that romantic
And
person.
which makes me, what was on that list?
I wonder. I'm from a royal family back home.
Are you?
So if you want to marry a royal, there's a whole lot of things you need to get.
Okay.
But my mom was a bit considerate. She
Yeah.
said, when you get married, you're going to start life all afresh. So there's no point asking him to buy all these. You have to buy me sewing machine, all my kitchen equipment. You have to buy me suitcases, jewelry, everything.
I love that one of the items is a sewing machine.
Yeah. Ask me if I know how to sew. No.
So, Ghanaian royalty, Your Majesty.
Yes.
Now, what's that like? Tell me a bit about that, because that sounds very impressive.
Well, where I'm from, royalty, although you're seen as a royal, it's not as complicated and you being surrounded with security all the
No.
time like Kate Middleton and
Yeah.
co. They're lucky
Yeah.
in a way, but so there you move around as and how you want to.
Yeah.
But when you go to Ghana in Ashanti region, that's where all the gold is.
Yes.
If you're royalty, you get all this protection and all that. But where I'm from, you can move around easily unless you really want that protection.
Does that date back centuries then? Does it stem from tribal Africa and,
Yes.
and that sort of thing?
Yes.
So is it a clear system, or almost a caste system? Is it a bit like that? Yeah.
Yes.
Which is fascinating, because we see almost a class system as a very English thing. It's interesting to note that you have it as
We have
well.
it, yeah.
What are the perks of being Ghanaian royalty, or are you just in the modern day? Is it just like being everybody else?
That's it.
Yeah.
In the olden days, well, you dress up with all these gold and the kente thing, and then
Yeah.
people see you and they bow to you and all. But now we don't really want people to know us really.
Right.
So you just want to be in your little hole and then move around to do your own.
And do you have
thing.
like tribal councils, things like that?
Yes.
Still, you do, don't
We
you?
do.
So would your family be quite prominent within
Yes.
that?
Yes.
So there is a bit of responsibility
It is. Yeah,
attached.
there is. There
Yeah.
is, yeah.
And how often does Nabia tell people at school she's a princess?
Never.
Never?
I don't think she has. You have?
You have.
All right.
Well, she's got to use the power somehow, hasn't she? I'd be telling people every
Boast
day.
around, isn't it?
I've only told one person.
Oh,
You've only told
only
one
the
person.
one.
Okay.
That's very responsible. So, when you decided to move, why? What was it that drew you to Europe and to move north to a completely different culture, a completely different country?
Initially, I didn't really want to come because I was working. I've got all my friends and family there.
Yeah.
But then once you're married, you have to move in with your husband.
You follow, yeah.
You have to. There's nothing like a distance marriage.
Right.
That is not marriage. So I had to. I had
What
no
did
choice.
you do in Accra? What was your job?
I worked in a hospitality environment.
Okay.
So I worked in a few hotels. Novotel, Alisa Hotel. That's what I did. So I've always been in the catering, hospitality thing. It's something part of my family. My mom, my grandmother, my aunties, most of us are caterers.
My understanding of Accra and Ghana generally is in the centre of cities, it's quite modern, quite built up. And then when you move to the outskirts, it does get rural and quite rough and ready very quickly. Is that fair?
No, not that. Not as it used to. Well, it used to be like that. But now, going into the rural areas and stuff, you get there and you see somebody's mansion.
Really?
And you're like, wow. 3 years ago was the first time I took my kids to Ghana, and my son, he couldn't believe it. He's like, this is so greedy. How can one person live in this house with all the securities and all those things?
Yeah.
So it used to be like that when you're in the cities, but now, no.
Is it quite divided? You have people with a lot and people with very little.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
The
is-
rich getting richer, the poor getting poorer.
No, but what did you make of Ghana when you went there? What did you think of it?
I loved it.
Why? What did you love about it most?
The warmth.
The warmth.
It's sunny. Yeah.
And the freedom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It must be a great education, though,
Yeah.
to be able to take a child born here who must have a very different outlook to you and show them how a very different society lives.
Nabia is easygoing compared to my son.
Right.
He's very reserved, and then he'll criticize, this is not how we do it in England. This is not how it's done in England. Oh, this is different. But Nabia gets along with anything.
Yeah.
So she settles in easily, but it will take Adriel about a week or more to settle.
Really?
Yeah.
What are the big differences?
It's too warm for him. Even here, summertime,
Right.
he hates it.
Okay.
And I'm too warm, too warm. He hates the weather. And then he says it's a bit noisy.
Right.
Because it's really busy when you go to town, all
I
the
bet
cars
it's-
and the
yeah.
honking.
And
Beep,
the
beep, beep, beep,
smells and the sounds and the senses.
beep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It must, because I bet I guess there's a lot of street cooking and a
Oh,
lot of
yes,
markets.
definitely.
And, yeah.
I remember 3 years ago when we went back from the airport, we could smell, it's called kelewele, it's plantain. It looks like a bigger banana, but it doesn't taste like banana.
Savoury,
You
isn't
could
it?
smell it.
Yeah.
You could use it as a savory or sweet. We could smell it from afar, but we didn't know where it was.
Yeah.
And my husband Fred is like, "Oh my God, kelewele, kelewele, kelewele." And I'm like, where is it? He said, "I don't know, but I can smell it."
Yeah.
So like you're saying, the smell of food, that alone makes you hungry.
And as a place to drive around, I guess, walk around, you must see things that you just don't see here.
Yeah.
If you were to drop me in the middle of Accra, what would be the biggest surprise, do you think?
Ooh.
Because I think we misjudge Africa because we see it often when there's a problem or when there's an event. So we see the very, very good or the very, very bad.
The very bad,
But I guess there's a big bit in the middle that we don't.
There is. Well, until I went back 3 years ago, I still had that perception of how Ghana used to be when I came here. But then I went there and everything has changed. You speak to your friends there and they're like, well, I don't have time. I'm busy doing stuff. And I was like, is this Ghana?
That never used to happen.
No. You could go to work, come back, still have some time to yourself. But now everybody is so busy. You go and if you're not lucky, you won't even see your friends because they're that busy. People are working about 2 or 3 different jobs. They're living comfortably there.
Yeah.
But those times, I remember when I was young, my uncles would travel back home and everybody goes to them. Everybody is happy to see them come. We're all there. They were like Santa is in town. But now you go and nobody is ready to listen to you or anything like that. And
They're like the
sometimes it
British
makes
now.
it makes you feel, I don't belong here anymore.
Right.
So you will get a few family members and friends who will come back. You think the masses, nobody's there.
Every single person I've spoken to that's from another country, and I include my family in this, says after a while, you kind of, everybody thinks you're a foreigner because you're in England and people go, oh, you're so Ghanaian.
Mm-hmm.
You go to Accra and do people pick on your English accent
They
and
do.
things like that?
When you talk, they
exactly.
know. We get confused with the currency.
Right.
So I remember going to a supermarket, and then it wasn't a posh supermarket, but it was like a general market sort of. And then I said, can I have ketchup? And I think the lady said 3 Ghana or 3 cedi. And I'm thinking, £30. I said, this? And she's like, I'm thinking you don't live in this country with us. If you don't want to buy it, leave it. And so I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, no, I didn't
feel like
mean
a tourist
that.
in your own country, yeah.
And then I went to this supermarket. It's called Kuala. And then a gentleman, so I said, oh, hello. And the man said, you don't live here, do you? I said, why?
They're quite blunt then.
Yeah. I said, why? Your hello is different from our hello here.
Right. One thing I do know about Ghanaians, I lived in London for a while when the World Cup was in South Africa, and Ghana went a long way in that tournament, Asamoah Gyan and all of that.
Yeah, Vuvuzela.
Yeah, and Ghanaians can throw a party.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And it takes over the street. I remember they got to the quarterfinals, I think.
I think so.
After the first knockout game when they won, well, I've never seen so many surprised people, but within about 25 minutes of full time, the whole street, there were no cars coming.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
I miss those times.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm watching it on TV, like, I wish I'm in Ghana. I wish I'm in Ghana.
But is it a party society?
It is.
Yeah.
We love to party. Even here, the Ghanaian society love to party. Sometimes I'm like, ugh. It's been 6 years, nearly 7 years I started my business. And within the 6 years, I've become one of the boring people you would meet because I'm always working. But I've always been a party lover. Back from home, my family, we love to party. Came here, my husband is not a party person, but now he's getting into that mode. So we love to party.
And do you have links with other Ghanaians in Britain, or do you find a way to stay connected to
We try.
Ghana?
We try. Yeah. I go to a mixed church, so we've got Ghanaians, we've got South Africans, Nigerians, Cameroonians, we've got English. Our head pastors are English.
Yeah. So
we're all mixed up. So we try to be there for one another. We're like brothers and sisters.
I interviewed a lady who runs the Afro-Caribbean Centre in Telford, and they do loads of great work. But I think the mix of cultures, even within that, and you try and unite that in food, don't you? How on earth? Because I think we kind of see Caribbean food and it's we sort of think it's all the same, but it's not.
It's not.
And African food, what a massive continent. It varies so much. How do you settle down with a style and a menu?
Well, now everybody is trying to make their own twist, make the cuisine a bit interesting and all that. So it's helping us to mix all the ingredients together. When you come to Accra, there are Ghans. Ghans have their food. You go to Eastern region where I'm from, we have our favorite food and all that. But now we're trying to mix everything in. It's just like Nigerians and Ghanaians. The food is similar, just like the Caribbeans. It's similar, but just 1 or 2 ingredients which are different. But apart from that, it's the same. Yeah. Yeah.
It's Christiana and Nancy and Nabia as well, who's only 9. He's doing very, very well. We're going to talk more about the food and a bit about Christmas as well after this from John Parr. Lovely.
Oh, thank you.
You're brilliant. You didn't stay in business, and tell us a bit about what you do.
I set up my business 2012. It was in December. I used to be a support worker. Well, I did work for Holiday Inn. I worked in Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
But the timings were not favourable. My husband was on nights. and childcare
Children come along and
childcare became a problem. My friends would cover them for me, take care of them for me whilst I work, and whilst I take a shift, my friend will get a shift from the agency or something, and then she rings and said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't take care of your kids." So I didn't want my record at work to be that bad, so I decided to stop. And I've always wanted to run my own business.
So you're almost pushed to take the plunge a little bit and be a bit braver than you otherwise might have.
I took a risk, and it was in December, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's so risky to set up a business in
particularly,
December."
I don't know why, but I would associate Afro-Caribbean food with the summer. I don't know why. So December seems like it's a difficult time to start.
Oh yeah. When I started, people were like, "Oh, I'm sure your food is going to be good during winter time, because in summer it'll be too hot for people to eat your sort of food." But surprisingly, I do all these food festivals and I sell out. And normally I start a bit slow for me because it's sort of lunchtime-ish, people will come and buy my food. So if you don't know me well, at the start of the festival you think, "Oh, this lady's not going to do well," because I'm there with on my phone, cross my leg, looking at the other people buying burgers and stuff. And then from 11, half 12 going, if you don't come to me early, the queue.
Really?
The queue. So whether summer or winter.
Was it like that straight away, or did it take a bit of building?
I'd say it took about 2 years for people to trust you and then keep coming back, because they were not sure. You put curried goat on your menu, and then you could hear somebody from afar say, "Curried goat, oh!" And I'm like, "Yeah.
Give it a try,
That's it. What's jerk?" And I'm like, jerk is a spice. Used in marinating chicken, fish, anything. And it could be spicy, it could be mild. So it depends on how you want to do it. So it took me time to educate people on my food.
So you get a lot of repeat business.
I do.
People almost look out for you at all of the events
everywhere.
You're at.
Everywhere. I put it on Facebook, and then somebody says, "I'm coming because of this girl." Or some people ask me after the end of a festival, "Are you coming back next year?" So sometimes they put it on the website of the organizers. "I'm coming back to see Christiana. I'm coming back." Because I don't just sell my food. I like to talk to people. I'm a very friendly person. So it's not all about the food and the money. I love to make new friends. I can talk.
We've noticed. So do you do everything out of a van almost? Is it portable?
I've got a mobile trailer. That's what I use. So it's got everything in it. The only thing I cook from home is the curry goat, because it takes ages to cook goats.
Right, okay.
So I cook the curries from home. But the rice and peas, my chicken, the dumplings, I do everything on site.
If you cook it too quickly, the goat, does it go tough? Do you have to be careful to keep it?
You have to give it time, show it love. So you don't rush it. Slow cook it.
So I can imagine through the summer, you're at a food festival, frankly, Friday to Monday, probably every week of the year. What do you do through the winter where there isn't as much outdoor stuff happening?
It's so boring. I'm always looking. Last Saturday was my last market for the year.
Okay.
And I was looking forward to finishing, to have a break. But then I've been thinking, "Oh, what am I going to do?" And I keep panicking that I'll have something to do this weekend, but there's nothing for me to do.
Which makes me wonder, can you put a Christmas twist on your stuff for a sort of a festive market? And do you fit in at a continental Christmas market, for instance?
Any market I go, it's same me. There's no twist, it's same me. But I do try to think about what to do to make it Christmassy. But at the end, I'm like, I can't be bothered. This is what people want. This is what people have come to look for me to buy. So I just go ahead.
Okay, so in Ghana and then transferred over here, because faith is important to you, isn't it? You mentioned important. The church you remember. What's Christmas like? One, in Africa, and two, now you've transported it here. Because I guess most people who've come from a different country almost fuse the two, don't they, when they move to a different place?
Yeah, we do. Christmas back in Ghana, it's really, really fun. The food, the friends coming over, family coming together, and then there's lots of beach parties, street parties. Wow. There's music everywhere, lots of different drinking spots. You call it pub here. So people have started calling it pub in Ghana as well. Yeah, they used to call beer bar. That's how
Yeah.
we used to call it. So this could be one beer bar. The next room is another, and everybody's playing loud music. So when you're here, you're singing this music. As soon as you get to your door, you're singing the other one.
Right.
And there's no limitations on how long you can play the music
Ghana
for.
sounds loud.
It is. It is loud.
How do you
Even
sleep
the horn
Yeah.
alone during daytime. My son said, "Do they have to honk all the time?" I said, "Yes, that's what I remember, and that's what makes me miss back home."
I love that your son is the most British person
Oh, he is.
I have ever met.
He is. If you're playing loud music, Mom, it's too loud. Really?
Hates the heat, hates people use their horn, it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then humongous houses, selfish people. I said, are you for real? But where we live in Ghana, it's a very big house as well. And the first time he got there, oh wow.
Yeah, I bet he enjoyed it when he was staying in it.
He enjoyed it. He really enjoyed it. He could do anything, run around, do everything. But Adriel is sort of posh in his own way. But me and Nabia, we're easygoing.
Yeah.
Anything for us.
So, Nabia, what's the best thing about Christmas?
Everything.
Everything, just all of it.
Yeah.
So, what's on your menu for Christmas Day? I'm guessing not turkey.
No, not turkey. But we might, but I'm not so sure. Can I leave that for Nabia
Yeah.
to say? Because Nabia has planned what we have.
Oh, right, okay. Nabia, take me through the courses that you've got planned.
I think we should have a normal Christmas dinner,
Okay.
but with a bit of a twist by my mum.
What's the twist? Spices.
Yeah, with
You're going to turn up the heat, aren't you?
Yeah.
Because that's what, it's quite hot, isn't it, some of the stuff you cook?
Yeah, it could be hot if you want to make it hot. But if you're not a hot person, you don't really have to.
Okay.
Normally, when I do the market and stuff, people say, "Oh, your food, it sounds hot." I'm like, it sounds hot, but it doesn't taste that hot.
Well, I love-
It has to have a kick.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
love
main
curried
thing.
goat.
Yeah.
And you can eat that all day.
All day.
It's not that, it doesn't take you and knock you out.
No. So, well, what I'm thinking for Christmas is jollof rice.
Okay.
Jollof rice is rice cooked in tomato and chili sauce. So it gives it this orangey color look.
Nice.
So we're doing jollof rice. We're having fried plantain. We're having bisab drink. That is a hibiscus flower drink. And we call it bisab or sobolo back in Ghana.
Is that easy to get over here?
It is in Birmingham.
Right, so you have to travel.
Yeah, but I think I've spotted some in the Asian shops in Telford, so I'll go and have a look. But I have a pack at home already, so that's fine. So breakfast, what we're going to have is we're going to have porridge. It's called cassava dough porridge. We call it cocoa. Cocoa is porridge.
Yeah.
So we're going to have that porridge with some bread for breakfast, and then sit down, sing some Christmas song. And what I've realized in this country is there are lots of Christmas songs. So the children or most people don't really know the Christian Christmas songs. We know the All I Want for Christmas.
Mariah Carey.
We know all
Wham.
those.
Yeah.
That's it. But we like to sing the Christian one.
So
and then
would you sing a sort of British one like a Silent Night or an Away
We
in a
will,
Manger?
yeah.
Or do you break out the African drums and get a bit funkier?
That's what we'll be singing, and then we'll try and go funky the other bit. Because my daughter plays the keyboard, my son and mine.
Oh, wow.
My son and my husband play the guitar.
Right.
And then my sister is around with her baby. So we are going to be the musicians. We're going to sing.
You've got a band
Yes,
in your
we
family.
have a band. So we're going to sing. After breakfast, we'll sing, sit down, have a chat, watch some movies, and then later have our proper Christmas dinner. So that's when the jollof, the plantain, the salad. Ghanaian salad is so rich.
Right. What's in it?
Rich. We've got cabbage, we've got lettuce, we've got carrots, we've got ketchup, salad cream, sardine, mackerel.
Oh, wow.
Everything. It's so rich. You eat a little on your phone.
Yeah.
So we're going to have all that, and I am going to bake my own cakes, have some cookies, It's a lot of food.
You're not going to be able to move by about 4 o'clock. You'll have eaten so much.
We'll take our time. No rush.
Do you start eating when you wake up and just eat all day in little bits?
That's it, because there's nowhere to go. Normally what we'll do is, but this time I just wanted to have just a family together.
Yeah.
But normally between our friends, what we do is maybe Christmas Eve, about 9 friends, we used to do this together. 9 friends. I normally take Christmas Eve and then I cook. So all of them will come to my house with their children. I don't cook Christmas Day because I got married on Christmas Day. So that's my anniversary. Yeah.
Okay.
So then we tend to go to a friend's house. We stay there till about 3 a.m. Everybody goes home, sleep. We wake up around 2, bath, go to the next person's house. So from Christmas Eve till the 1st of January, it's partying.
Everything comes at night, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is that very Ghanaian?
It is very
Does
Ghanaian.
Accra come to life when the sun goes down?
It does.
Yeah.
During the day, it's busy. Everybody
it's hot,
trying
isn't it,
to
as well?
do their own thing. But from 7 o'clock, that's when everybody shatters. You see them with all their nice clothes. Everybody hits into the town.
And is music, because you mentioned almost having your own band in your family, is music very important culturally?
It is. We've got the rhythm.
Well, I was gonna. What I want to say is, when you talk, you dance and you speak rhythmically. It's innate in you, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
What's the music like?
I grew up in Christian music.
Yeah.
That's what I can
Gospel,
sing.
that
Gospel,
sort of stuff.
Gospel. But any other song, we'll just listen and then just flow with the rhythm. It doesn't really matter. But I'm more of a gospel musician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you mention your friends and your sisters here, have you got a sort of nice little community of people who share your culture, or are you constantly inviting people in and
We're inviting
teaching people
in? What I tend to do, if I don't do this thing with my friends from Christmas Eve till the 1st, what I do is I invite a few people with no relatives here. That's what I tend to do, especially just to welcome them into my family, and then we all have Christmas together.
Bit of an open house.
That's it.
So when are you back at work? When can people find you next?
February. I think the first Friday in February we're back in the square. So I'm holidaying till then.
And if people want to learn about certainly Afro-Caribbean food, but specifically the sort of stuff you do, you should do lessons.
Yeah, I do cookery lessons.
Right.
Yeah. The next plan is for me to look for somewhere in Shrewsbury, because I have places in Telford I organize cookery lessons. So I'm trying to look for a place in Shrewsbury where I can hold the cookery lessons. I do pop-up restaurants and stuff, which is coming back next year. I did a couple in Shrewsbury, October and November. But I'm looking for a bigger place because it wasn't that big enough, so I had to turn people down.
Well, that's a good sign.
Yeah, so I wasn't really happy saying no to people, but I think I have to look for another place where I could welcome everybody in, because somebody wasn't happy with me and then sent me an email and said, why would you do this if you can't afford a bigger place? I'm like, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
But so you can come to me for cookery lessons. You can book with me for pop-up or, let's say, secret supper club. Yeah. Anything. If you have a wedding, party, I do anything. It doesn't count the number of people you have. 5, 8, 10, whatever numbers, I'm happy to do.
Given you have people queuing round the corner to get your food, have you felt made completely at home here? Have people been really welcoming and open to you?
Yes. Yeah.
Good.
I feel so welcome. I feel at home when I'm around people because everybody has accepted me for who I am. I've always been a sweet person, a very chatty person. So I think that helps me to settle in wherever I go to. Yeah.
Does it feel sometimes, particularly with the stuff you serve, that people sort of go, I'm not sure. But after a couple of minutes, you've got them, haven't you? I
remember in Oswestry, and then these people said, goat, I'm not having goat, because they were from Wales. I've got a goat as my pet, I'm not having it. And then my husband said, do you like lamb? Think about it. Just picture it as a lamb, and then have a taste. You don't have to buy it, but try it first. They tasted it, and there were about 4 families. Well, 4 friends. I don't know. I think 4 friends. They all bought about 5 packs to take home and freeze. So some people are like you can't blame them because they don't know how it tastes. They don't know you don't know what the reaction they're gonna give. So it's just about you having patience to explain to people what it is, how it tastes. It's not that spicy. Because some people say, "Oh, I wish I could, but I think it looks spicy. It sounds spicy." And then I tell them, just have a taste.
Yeah.
If it's so spicy, you don't have to buy it, but try it before you judge.
So how can people find you and get in touch with you? Where are you available?
I'm available most of the time in Shrewsbury, but if not, if you Google Afro-Caribbean food, it's only me.
Only you? Really?
I'm so unique.
Yeah. Wow.
I know some people started, but they didn't really carry on. They all stopped. But I've pushed it.
You've cornered the market.
That's it. So it's only me. It's Mukasi Foods. If you can't spell it, just put in Afro-Caribbean food and I'll pop up. Go through the pictures. If you don't see me smiling, then it's not me. That's what I tell people. Because I'm always smiling. I put pictures on there. So just Google Afro-Caribbean food and it's Mukasi Foods.
And at the market, follow the laugh.
That's
and
right.
They'll find you.
That's it. You know, sometimes my husband, when he used to come to the market with me, he's like, tone it down.
Christiana, thank you very much. And Nabia, thank you very much as well.
Thank you for having us.
You.
That was brilliant.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome anytime.
Oh, because my husband used to say,
Yay!
When you